Gabriel Agreste finally achieved his goal. He brought back his wife, Emily, but in return, he had to go to the other dimension. Meanwhile, a part of the Miraculous fandom feels like this about Gabriel's departure. But the other part of the fandom feels like this. If you're feeling sad because our father-in-law has left this world, watching this video might change your mood to happy or angry. And if you're one of those who are happy because Gabriel is gone, by the end of this video you'll be even more delighted. I'll show you the most horrible things this villain did to achieve his goal, which will make you say, "I'm glad he's gone!" Comment who this character is, and the answers will appear in the next video. Gabriel Agreste was a famous French fashion designer. At some point in his life, he partnered with Tomoe Tsurugi to create high-quality smart rings called Alliance. Gabriel was not only a fashion designer, but also an inventor, and he was considered a genius by some people in the Miraculous world. However, the true reality of this man goes beyond what was mentioned. This villain led a double life in which he caused chaos and suffering to innocent characters in order to seize the Miraculous of Ladybug and Noir. And boy, did he do everything to obtain them. The story of Gabriel Agreste took a definitive turn when he captured the rest of the Kwamis. Here we see a desperate man determined to defeat Ladybug and Noir. This version of Gabriel was ruthless and cruel. One manifestation of his cruelty was how he treated the Kwamis, prisoning them in small glass boxes and forcing them to do things against their will. Essentially, he enslaved and coerced these magical creatures into surrendering their powers to fulfill his evil desires. Without a doubt, this man is completely insane. In the pinned comment, you will find a video where I talk a little more about the other issues Gabriel had. Furthermore, this man did something truly outrageous. He manipulated thousands of characters without their knowledge. Gabriel was willing to achieve his goal, and to do so, he broke boundaries by creating the smart ring I mentioned a few seconds ago. People within the Miraculous world thought this device was cool and that it made life a little easier. However, in reality, the ring enabled Gabriel to choose his next victim to be akumatized. He even tampered with the ring system because he knew what the owner of that artifact was doing. This became evident when Gabriel thought so clean was Ladybug, as her activities marked suspicious locations. Also, through an app installed on those devices, he manipulated the owners to experience sadness or anger, and then easily akumatized them so they would fight against our heroes. What I just mentioned is just the tip of the iceberg of the terrible crimes this villain committed though. And that's not even counting the times Mr. Gabriel confronted Adrian one-on-one when they were both in their superhero personas. In exchange for that, I'll talk about something that very few people paid attention to. Something disgusting that would easily be in the top 3 of the most controversial things Gabriel ever did. This dirty old man carried out a practice that nowadays is a serious crime and punishable by many years in prison. He promised and swore to Tomoe Tsurugi that Adrian would be Kagami's boyfriend and eventually they would get married. Because of this, Kagami replaced Lida's avatar in the alliance system, with the idea that both of them would gradually build a bond. Basically, Gabriel had sold his son's freedom and was committed to keeping his word in the agreement with Tomoe. In this way, he would prolong the alliance he had with her, which benefited him with cutting-edge technology and other things he couldn't obtain on his own. This practice carried out by this dirty old man goes beyond any ethical limits and is completely illegal. Many years ago, in certain countries, this practice was conducted, but it is no longer done. Or so I want to believe. During those times, certain families would exchange a family member for property, money, power, or they'd negotiate vigorously and reach an agreement where a son or daughter from each family would be obligated to marry, and in return, one of the families would obtain something very exclusive. Something similar was done by this crazy man, which shows that Mr. Agreste did not possess a brilliant mind or was a genius, as the series makes us believe. Part of his mind had very outdated ideas, thinking that there was nothing wrong with forcing his son into a relationship with a girl in exchange for getting access to new things. For that very reason, Gabriel didn't want Adrian to be Marinette's boyfriend, as it would ruin his plans. And to keep him away from her, he did something outrageous. He sent Adrian to live alone in London. And as if that wasn't enough, he locked him up in a completely isolated place, similar to a madhouse. Mrs. Tsurugi did the same with her daughter, Kagami. In those episodes, this man had lost control of himself and no one could stop him. He was crazy with so much power in the palm of his hand. If you comment the angry emoji, you would be saying, Gabriel Agreste, you're a crazy old man! However, during all that time, he fought major battles against Ladybug and Cat Noir. On certain occasions, he was on the verge of defeating them, but at the last moment, something would happen that foiled his victory. In one of these fights, Monarch accidentally took Cataclysm from Cat Noir, marking the beginning of the end for Gabriel/Monarch. The villain was lucky not to throw the towel at the very moment Noir's power hit him, thanks to the miraculous jewels he wore, as they provided some protection against its devastating force. However, the Cataclysm caused several health problems for him. These problems worsened when using multiple Miraculous at the same time, but there was a factor that further deteriorated his condition, the magical artifact known as the Miraculous of the Second Chance. Each time he used it, his body suffered irreparable damage. In the crucial episodes of the series, they revealed something we never thought we would hear. Gabriel's heart was damaged by the Miraculous and the Cataclysm. Most shocking of all was that he had only a few weeks left to live. I know this sounds like a bad joke, but it's entirely true. Watch the scene to see it for yourself.
Gabriel, you may only have a few weeks left like this.
I don't have much time left.
This explains why Gabriel suddenly changed his attitude a bit and decided to spend more time with his son, Adrian. He even started cooking for him, which is something he hadn't done before. From this point on, his health deteriorated more and more each day. It started with the forearm, the exact place where he received the Cataclysm. Over time, the damage spread to other parts of his body, completely covering the arm and then almost the entire torso. The worst part is that the damage also affected him internally, especially the heart, which functioned in a peculiar way. Listen to the way his heart beats.
Gabriel, your heart has been hurt. You can never use the power of second chance again.
Silence! Let me listen. Your heart.
Just as you've heard, his heart beats really strangely. Regardless of what Mr. Gabriel is doing, it always beats like that. After a few more episodes, we witnessed that a part of his finger crumbled, and when he made a great effort, he expelled some kind of ashes from his mouth. This made us understand that the internal damage was too advanced. The most disheartening part was that Gabriel and Natalie knew that in a matter of days, they would find their eternal rest. Both were extremely worried about Adrian, since he would be left without a mother, without a father, and without the stepmother figure that Natalie represented.
Maybe it's time to stop chasing after the Miraculous and start looking for a solution for Adrian. Make sure he's not alone once we're gone.
In other words, Adrian would be an orphan. Can you imagine how sad the harsh reality would be for this boy? It would be a very difficult situation, and this was about to happen. However, Ladybug let her guard down and became overconfident, and Gabriel seized the opportunity. The rest is history. Something funny that happened at the end of his battle is that the characters in the Miraculous world think that Mr. Gabriel helped defeat Monarch at the cost of his own life. In fact, they erected a statue in his honor in Paris. The irony speaks for itself. No further context needed. Well, what do you think or feel now that this evil villain has gone to the other dimension? Share your opinions. You can also leave the broken heart emoji if you're saddened by the departure of our father-in-law. But if you're happy, leave a heart. Before I say goodbye, I'd like to remind you that you're invited to watch the video where we talk about the other health problem Gabriel was suffering from. In the description, you'll find the link to that video. This adventure comes to an end, so I send greetings to those who appear on the screen, as well as the people who simply watch the video without interacting. My name is Reverie, and we'll hear each other in another video. Bye bye bye!